Hey, hey, good morning, everybody. It's the Black CEO Morning Show, and we are here again live and in Technicolor. Hey, Vision, what's up, girl?
I'm doing awesome. I'm amazing. How are you doing today?
Not as good as you, and I'm fantastic. I'm just glad to be here again, being able to broadcast with you live and all of our friends who follow the Black CEO Morning Show. We are so grateful and happy that you are here once again today. And we're going to have a great time today. We got a great show for you. We want to make sure that you're here. We want to make sure that we know that you're here. So go ahead. Now that we are open and live, put your name in the comment section. Go ahead. Tell us who you are, your name, your first name, your last name, where you're from, and what it is you do. Because we want to make sure that we help you promote your business, and we do it in the spirit of collaboration. It's not who you know all the time, but it's what you know and who knows about you. So go ahead and put yourself in the comment section so that we can shout you out, we can talk about you, and other people can see you in rare form. Vision, talking about that, we had a conversation earlier about understanding what it means to be an entrepreneur, but even more importantly, the point that you made, not just understanding for you and I what it means to be an entrepreneur, but how our younger generation is
hmm
now beginning to grasp
Well,
entrepreneurship versus going to school, getting a degree, and finding a job to be just over broke.
well, I love the state of what's going on with our community of our young entrepreneurs that are growing into the space of starting their own businesses, and I'm seeing more and more. I mean, I'm talking about under the age of 25, as young as I saw a young man just the other day, 11 years old, made $10,000, in a couple of days selling
Woohoo!
some products. And I know this has everything to do with like the internet. There's so much information out there. And one
Hmm.
thing about the youth is that they don't have fear. You know what I mean? They haven't experienced a lot of those let downs and disappointments and all the things that we've experienced as adults, which keep us from actually taking action. And so I believe that, over the next few years, we're going to see more millionaires under the age of 18 be birthed. And these are some exciting times, but it also lets me know I need to get to work. Like, I ain't got time to be getting beat by these
Hmm.
little children out here in
It's
the
a
entrepreneurship world. But why do you think, I mean, as well, why do you think that more young people are out here starting these businesses and having success?
Well, I think there's a couple of things, and you've just touched on a few of them. One is technology. The big thing is, and here's a statistic: 90% of children are operating at the genius level until age of 3. And it's the
Mm,
things that the people like you and I who are older are teaching them, the fears that we have that are bringing these kids out of the genius mode into the indoctrination mode. Color inside the lines. You will not do this. You do it this way. You can't do it that way. What's happening now, because we're spending less time with them and they're spending more time in technology, they don't have the fences around them that were created by our parents and people before us that say you can't do it that way, and they're testing everything, they're asking why, and they're pushing the envelope, and it's leading them into discovery of things that we just glazed over. So i I really think that
absolutely.
that
And
has
and
a
I
lot to
and I
do with it.
believe that totally. In fact, I didn't know about the whole 90% thing.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, Albert Einstein said this. He said everybody was born a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its entire life thinking that it's stupid. And that's what the world does to people. You got these geniuses out here, and it's telling them that you got to do it this way, or we don't understand what you're doing, so it must not be the right thing. These kids are challenging the
Oh
status
my goodness.
quo. Last year when we did the
Hmm.
Black
Absolutely.
CEO, Black and Influential, we invited a young lady and she couldn't come because her business was blowing up so much. She started a lemonade stand. And through her lemonade stand, now she's in Walmart, Walgreens. Target, and she has blown up just with lemonade.
Hmm.
How many of us
And
looked
it's
over,
also interesting. It's also interesting to see what you just said. I'm seeing more young, not even adults, young children that are starting these businesses and they're getting those opportunities to be in some of these major chains, which is
Mhm,
incredible. I wonder if
mhm.
also because these major chains understand who the buying power is being transferred to, and that is a lot of our young generation. I mean, honestly, when you think about the wealth, the level of wealth that many young adults, even to children, are going to have, they're going to be controlling a lot of the money that is actually being generated here in this world. I won't even just say in the United States. But
Mhm,
what do you think in regards to, because I know you say, we're geniuses, right? We're geniuses when we're
mhm,
born. And then as we go through life, which I totally believe in, you're being told, no, you can't have this. Money doesn't grow on trees.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
And learn to start these businesses. And what do you
Uh-huh.
think also as adults to get to
You
really kind of
know,
model what they're doing?
Vision, say that again because there were some powerful things in there, and I want to make sure everybody grasps the point that you were making. Because I do have a follow up with it, but it was so powerful. I want to make sure that everybody grasps what you just said.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Sorry for the glitches, y'all. We're live. But what I was saying is that, as you were stating, that we are all born geniuses. And I love that. I
Hmm.
love that. And I do truly believe that. And then, of course, like you were also saying, as we grow older, we get told all these things. I remember being told, no, you can't have this. If you keep asking me for this, I'm going to give you something to ask for. Or I was also told, you know what I'm talking about, right? I was also told, money doesn't grow on trees. You have this whole
Oh
silver
yeah.
wooden spoon, all these spoons. Where did these spoons come from? I don't know. I didn't have a spoon in my mouth when I was born. But anyways, as we grow older, like you said, we get all of these fears. But what do you think is causing these young children, or where are they getting this information from? Because let's just be real. Many of them may not necessarily be getting it from their parents. They're finding it. So where do you think kids are like researching to find this and the audacity to start those businesses? Because many of them are not legally able to even start a business. At least I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's technology. I'll tell you this. I have two nephews. One is 3 and one is 6. And they
Hmm.
spend a lot of time on the iPad or on
Yep.
the iPhone, and they're doing things. Now, there are a lot of different things, games that are created, and they're researching things. I was sitting on at the table yesterday, and my nephew was doing his homework, and he was doing his spelling words, and he has to write each spelling word 3 times, and then he has to take them to school. He also has the option of not only writing them but typing them into the computer 3 times and then emailing them to his teacher. And after he emailed them to his teacher, she responded within 10 minutes. Think about that. The technological advances that these kids are getting are taking them down a road that we didn't have the opportunity to go down. What's powerful, and I
Absolutely.
want you, everybody, go ahead in the feed, and I would like for you to give us some information or a message. If you've got a kid, if you've got a young adult in your household that you know of who is doing something from a technological standpoint, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, that would be encouraging to others, share it in the feed. Go ahead and put it in there. It's hashtag technology new way. Do
Definitely.
something different.
Definitely do something different. I want to add something else too, Belton, because you said something powerful. You said all of these technical, things that are taking place right now in our world. The advantages, yes, the technical advantages that we have, and kids are able to really, at the touch of a finger, get information. What I hear though from a lot of adults, though, a lot of adults use that as a reason to not. Well, I don't know those things, or I've never. This is the deal, guys. One thing I can tell you to all of my Black CEOs watching. We cannot keep using the excuse that I just don't know how to do it, or I'm not up on that. You got to get
Oh
up on
yeah,
it, because if we're seeing more
exactly.
than ever today, Kids are not, they're not making excuses, and we all have the same opportunities, the same amount of hours in the day. And so I would encourage everybody, I always say this, some of the best people to watch, like just watch, are children. And now more than ever, you can watch children have no fear. They don't care about being canceled. This whole cancel society where if you say one thing wrong, then nobody's going to support you anymore. No, we've got to get out of that fear. Fear stands for false evidence appearing real. And when we do that, we're going to be able to see those transformations take place, not just within our life, but within our businesses, for sure. I totally believe that.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because we know a lot of things, but we really don't understand what's going on. I was in sales and marketing for 30 years. And one of the things that we have to remember is most commercials are designed and developed to appeal to 5-year-old children. Commercials are not designed for adults. They're designed for the next generation, the young generation. Why? To indoctrinate them into things so that the brands can be developed. These corporations don't care about 65 and 75-year-old people. They're looking to indoctrinate the 5-year-olds, the 6-year-olds, the 7-year-olds, so that when they move into adulthood, the brand has already been established. These kids are taking this kind of thought process and they're developing their own concepts, their own ideas, and they're challenging the status quo. So I applaud all of them. And I'm so excited, that they're doing this entrepreneurial thing. I've got 2 older kids, and both of them have full-time jobs, but they've ventured down the entrepreneurial space like that. You're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. And that's really what, they talk about unemployment rates going down. The new employment is not people finding jobs, it's people creating their own businesses and their own livelihood.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And when it goes all the way back to even just our culture as Black entrepreneurs, taking it all the way back to Africa. When you even think about Africa, everybody had some kind of trade or some kind of business that they did, and they all worked together within their community. And so honestly, I love what's taking place. I love that spirit. Now, I just want to put a disclaimer. I know some people say, well, what you saying? They shouldn't go to college. I believe that I also learned a lot of important things about being an individual and growing to the space of single womanness in school. And so, I'm not necessarily saying that, but I do believe that we should not wait. If we have an idea or a business, we should all get out there and do it no matter your age, but let that be a source of empowerment to all of our adults, that we shouldn't allow fear to keep holding us handicapped to these opportunities. It's not because somebody's 11 years old, they make $10,000. It's You know what I mean? And audience, we definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. What are your opinions? What do you think about, seeing all these young entrepreneurs? Does it inspire you, or does it make you feel like, why even bother? Because when I see stuff like that, I know for me, it inspires me. I don't think that there's a restrictional age, depending upon your success. And so definitely please leave your comments and let us know what you think.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Also, tag an entrepreneur. We want to meet those young entrepreneurs. We might need to bring them on the show, Velton. What do you think? I think
absolutely. I'd love to have
young entrepreneurs on. So definitely tag.
Vision, you made another point, and I love this conversation because it's really something that is long overdue. But here's the thing. You talked about should they go to college? College will teach you a lot of life lessons. Number one, you're somewhat independent because mom and dad aren't there every day. Number two, one of the things that colleges do is allow you to start up your network, create a network of other like-minded individuals that are going in the same direction that you may be able to collaborate with later, partner with later, or call upon later to help you get your business to the next level. I think this conversation really needs to continue. So go ahead into the feed. We'd want you to start to develop that kind of collaborative mindset and opportunity inside the feed. Our show doesn't stop when we get off the air in an hour. Our show continues in you. So go ahead and get active, be a part of who we are and what we do. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, Taria, the real after party starts in the comment section. We want to see their comments. Woo, don't you say go. All right. Well, you know, this conversation is going to continue in the feed. We got to move along with the show, and we've got a couple of things. Here's another opportunity, and this is your announcements for today. There's a conference that's going to happen. Today is November 19th. That means within 2.5 weeks, the closed conference that is being put on by Shay Brown is going to take flight in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, GA at the Sonesta Hotel. The closed conference is going to go live. It is the #1 sales conference in the world. Why do I say in the world? Because it's going to be live and it's going to be broadcast around the world. The question is, do you have your ticket? Do you have your seat in the audience? Your seat in the audience can be live at the hotel, or your seat in the audience can be in the comfort of your home. It's up to you. But here's the thing. Don't miss the closed conference, December 5 and 6. Be there or be square. Those are your announcements for today. Now, here's the thing. We're going to go to get a vision from the visionary, Taria Avant, because she's going to give us her thought of the day. Take us away, Vision.
Absolutely, Velton. Well, my thought of the day, guys, is do not be afraid to hire and fire. You know, there's going to be situations where you're going to have clients where you might have to make a decision that you can no longer work with them. Guys, one of my models for 2019 is that you will not stress me, or in my type of terminology, you ain't gonna stress me, because Velton actually taught me that one. You ain't gonna stress me, right? And the reason why I think this is so important is because a lot of times, guys, we're chasing a dollar versus chasing our own sanity. And when you chase a dollar,
Okay. Absolutely. Vision, you're frozen. Yep, we're gonna get you back in 1 second. Get you back in 1 second. You know, I told you guys we are live, and sometimes we have, as great as technology is, we have a technological glitch, and we just had one. So we're gonna bring Vision right on back. Mic check, mic check. You there, girl?
I'm here, honey. I don't know what's going on today, but what you
Go
not
on
gonna
with your
do is
bad self.
stress me, okay? Look, I was talking the whole time, child, but that's okay. That's actually what I was talking about. My model for 2019 is you're not gonna stress me. And what I mean by that, guys, is I don't allow circumstances, situations, or people to pull me out of a position of being inspired and empowered. Guys, it's okay if you have to fire a client. And I want to say this very kind of carefully, okay? Because I know I got some of my clients watching, but look, one thing that I've come to learn is that when you're doing business and you're offering a service, sometimes people just don't operate in the space that you do. And in order to protect your sanity, guys, there are going to be some situations where your relationship with that person may not work. So if you ever find yourself in a position where this client is stressing you out, guys, instead of chasing the dollar, chase your sanity. And at the end of the day, my motto will always be, you not gonna stress me. All right, Belton, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to you. That was good. That was a nice little poem I put up in there.
Fan, that's hot. That's hot. I love it. Woo-wee. Don't stress, girl. You're not going to stress Vision. She already told you, so don't even try. She got it. She's ready for you. You know, it's amazing when great minds think alike, because I got a thought of the day, too, for you guys. And I hope you're ready, because, you know, it's like we going to church today. And in church, they told us, treat people the way you want to be treated. And in business, it is imperative that we treat people the way we want to be treated, whether they're our customers, our clients, or they're people who work with us or for us, because everybody wants to be treated well. And many times when we are in a stress mode, or we're in a quick turnaround mode, or things are just putting a lot of pressure on us, we forget to treat people the way we want to be treated. So here's what I'm going to say. My thought of the day today is this: your greatest test is how you handle people who mishandle you. Yeah, that's right. How you handle people who mishandle you. They tweak your nerves. They get on your last nerve. They upset you. They want you want to put your hands around their neck. But you have to think the greatest test is how you treat people or how you handle people who mishandle you. That's my thought of the day. We're going to move on. So the next part of the show, because we got a powerful, action-packed guest for you today, and he is going to just blow your mind. But before we do that, Vision, who you shouting out today?
Well, look, you know what? I had to make sure that I shouted out the gentleman who is inviting me to come to the Close Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. We've talked about it, guys. You got to make sure that you are in the A Shoute, but none other than Mr. Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Thank you, brother. I can't wait to see you out there in Atlanta.
Mr. Shay Brown. There you go. Well, you know what? I'm going to shout out somebody because I'm a little jealous. And I'm a little empty because I miss her. And that's Taria Hodge, because Taria took the week off to move to the islands. Now, I don't know how much more of an entrepreneur you can be. Then you take a week off from the show to move to the islands. And then next week, we're going to hear the Caribbean music in the background when she comes on the show. So I'm shouting out Taria Hodge today. And
yes, Taria. Bring us some of that sand, that gal.
I'm telling you. And you know what? She going home because she said her mama cooks every day starting at 5:30 in the morning. So I'm sitting here going, you don't have to tell us that, because Robert and I are trying to charter a boat because we're going to surprise Taria. We're going to show up on the doorstep and say, Mama's cooking. We'll talk to you later. All right. Well, you know what? We're going to move ahead with the show. And right now, we got to pay a few bills. So we're going to let one of our sponsors tell you what their business is all.
Listen, you're not wrong if you think having an online TV show will help you increase your company's influence and income online for business. But having an online TV show or starting an online TV show can be a lot of work if you don't understand the technology behind how to produce something that looks professional and visually compelling, and may take time you don't have as a busy business professional. We understand this, and this is why Remote Producer Live will now produce your online TV show for you remotely and from anywhere. What does this mean? It means that you now have the power of live video backgrounds, graphics, lower thirds, transitions, even commercials to help enhance the quality of your online TV show. Your whole job is to get in front of the camera and be an amazing host while you partner with your remote producer to produce high quality, visually compelling content that attracts more of the kind of people you want to serve with your business and help turn them from video viewers into paying customers. I can't wait for you to get started with this process. It's one of the most exciting resources for business owners everywhere is Remote Producer Live. In the link in the description, there's a link. Make sure that you hit that link to learn more about how you can get started with Remote Producer Live. I'll see you on the other side. Bye.
We're back live. Hey there.
Hey.
There's that smiling face for Vision. Vision, we got a guest today, and we're going to introduce him in a second, but it's going to be a powerful, powerful message. So I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I cannot wait for our guest.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. You know, today's guest is amazing because he has a company, and every band, every orchestra, everybody has somebody who they call the conductor. And because he is the conductor and he's the magic man that makes it happen, he calls his company Maestro. And Maestro he is an amazing visionary and entrepreneur, and we're excited to have him with us today to talk to you about what he does and how he does it. Mic check, mic check. Justin,
Mike,
are you there?
Mike check, Mike check. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Oh man, I hear you loud and here, looking great as usual. How you doing, my brother?
I am doing good, my friend. Doing good, my friend. Thank you for
Well,
having me.
no, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule because we know that you're over there printing money down there in Atlanta, Gia.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying.
So, but Justin, we're going to give you the microphone and let you talk to our audience and tell them. I know you've got a powerful message for them today, and they're excited about hearing from you. So I'm going to mute my mic and I'm going to get my paper and my pencil because I'm going to take some notes, because I want to make sure I get every bit of this amazing information that you're going to share today. So take it away. Mike is yours.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you and welcome. I'm so excited. Black CEO. Thank you guys for being here. I'm super, super excited just to share some cool strategies with you. But more importantly, just thank you so much for being here. It's just an honor to serve the Black CEO community. Now, if you guys don't know who I am, again, my name is Justin Burns, and I'm the founder of a company called Maestro. And what we do here at Maestro, we're actually here working. But more importantly, what we do is we have a technology company and we help, experts, authors, speakers, trainers really get their knowledge out to the world in a big way. And we actually have the technology to help them to do that. Okay. And so for you guys that don't know, how I started in this, and this is going to be a good transition into what we're going to talk about today. Okay. Which is how to take your knowledge and expertise and really turn that into what I call the recurring revolution. If you've been on past shows, you probably heard me talk about creating a course. What I want to talk about today is something a little bit different, which is how you can take advantage of this new revolution that we're in, called what I like to refer to as the recurring revolution. And you're gonna love this. Okay. Now, about 7 years ago, I actually got started, or should I say about 8, 9 years ago. I always lose track, but I've been a full-time entrepreneur for the past 8 to 9 years or so. And I actually didn't start like you think I would. When people hear that I'm a tech founder, they hear that, I own a software company, they automatically assume that, I have a college degree, or I went to Harvard, or I went to Yale, I went to one of those schools. Well, I'm here to tell you that none of those things happened. I actually barely graduated from high school. Right? So, but here's the biggest thing. In learning all those things, what I realized is as entrepreneurs, we have the ability to shift and learn anything, change anything. We are living in the digital and information economy. Now, what that means for you is you can learn anything. What that means for you is you can sell anything. What that means is you can grow a company to any heights that you truly want. And that's what I want to do today. I want to serve you in a big way. I want to serve you in a way where you get something out of this and what we're going to talk about today. And moving into, whatever stage in your life, it doesn't matter. You can grow any type of company and you can make as much money as you truly want. So again, my background, I have no tech experience. And I always like to say this: each failure that you have transitions you to the next level. Somebody at dinner last night was actually asking me a question. They said, Justin, tell me your story. They were so interested. Like, how did you come up with Maestro? It was just crazy. And I had to think back on all the different failures that I experienced, right? I mean, I'm probably on company number 7. This is company number 7, but most people think this is company number 1. But I had 6 failures, or should I say 5, because the last one I was able to sell off. But I had 5 failures before that. And so if you're in this position of trying to grow a business, or you're trying to really see where you're going to go next, always realize that failure is going to get to. But here's the biggest thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I'm always known when I speak around the world, and I've gotten a chance to speak with Pelton and Taria and all these amazing and powerful speakers that I look up to. And little do they know how much I respect them and how much I learn from them when they're speaking, right? But here's the biggest thing that I noticed as I was attending seminars and trainings, and this is the elephant in the room, is that most entrepreneurs are not focused on making money. And you might be thinking to yourself, that sounds a little crazy, right? Well, the flux of a business is cash flow. That's what keeps your company growing. It's cash flow. But oftentimes we deviate from cash flow, not realizing that that's what we are not doing. And there's an estimated study that says that only about 10% of companies make over six figures. Now you might be thinking, Justin, it's not always about the money. Here's the thing. Those are all the limiting beliefs that stops us from growing companies, because it's not about you. It's about the people that you serve. Okay. And so the biggest thing I want you to realize is that in growing a company, you're not just trying to grow a company so you could drive your Ferrari or get your nice house. All those things are great. You want to help people. You may not see her, but behind me, my assistant is here, right? And so I know that by what I do and the income that I generate and the revenue I generate, she's able to, take care of whatever she is. And she provides a value to our growing company as an asset of what I do. I also have 6 other people that work alongside me, right? So it's not just about me making money. It's about us empowering, especially as Black entrepreneurs. We have to start to empower ourselves and grow our companies, right? And so I bootstrapped this entire company from simply focusing on 2 things. And I want you to write this down, okay? Number 1 is marketing. Number 2 is selling. When I first started off, I focused on those 2 things. Now, here's the thing. When I first started out, I was doing all these different things you could think of. I had a to-do list out the wazoo. And even though my to-do list is still crazy, it ain't got less a little bit, right? But here's the thing. I started to focus on the things that matter, and I started to develop skill sets in the area of marketing. Now, what is marketing? Marketing is not about putting up ads. Marketing is the ability to get people to desire something, which makes selling easy, okay? So when people think about selling, they often think about selling in the context of, I have to force somebody to give me their credit card number, which is totally not true, right? If you do a great job at marketing, oftentimes selling becomes easy, right? And people won't feel bad about signing up with you or working with you. Ultimately, they feel like you would do them a disservice. Now, let's kind of bring all that home and talk about what I want to talk about today. And I want to talk about the recurring revolution. And that is this new economy that we are in that I'm excited about. Now, you guys have heard me talk about online courses. We're going to take that a step further and talk about how you could take your knowledge and take your expertise and actually tap into the recurring revolution. What's the recurring revolution? There's a shift that has happened in the past really couple of years, okay? Which is that companies realize in order for them to survive and thrive, they need to sort of charge a monthly recurring revenue. Okay, that is how you are going to increase, and that's where our company has shifted, because we charge premium prices to work with us, right? But we've kind of shifted a little bit where we started to focus more on the growth of our recurring revenue in opposed to one-time sales. Okay, we've actually shifted. Now we still focus on our premium prices, but we focus more on our recurring revenue. And so, again, thinking about this, the whole biggest thing of your company really comes down to the growth and cash flow. And so here's how you could do that. I want to talk about 4 different points, okay? I want to talk about 4 different points of how you could do this. Now, if you guys remember, or you've seen this recently, Disney launched Disney Plus, right? So we always talk about Netflix, but Disney launched Disney Plus, and they put 10 million users on their platform at like $7 a month, okay? About $7 a month. I think that's estimated like $60 million or something like that in revenue per month. So it added almost $700 million to their bottom line, okay? Now, here's the difference though. Disney has built this whole premium product. Disney has built this audience for the last 50 years plus. But we don't have to think about Disney. We need to think about our own economy. So The first thing is, how do you sort of really start to think about how you could take your knowledge and expertise? And here's the thing: we are living in the best time possible to do this. Here's why: you have technology like Maestro, you have technology like ClickFunnels, you have technology that makes it so easy for you to be able to sell your knowledge and package it and charge a premium price for it. Okay, so that's the key. The thing is, you have to get out of your own way and realize that you can charge what you're worth and go out there and find the audience. So let's first talk about how you can find the audience, okay? This is the first thing I want you to do. Instead of focusing on just how you can find your audience, this is the biggest thing, and this is in relation to marketing, as I always talk about, and why a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't really see results, or they don't really get members to pay them every single month. The first unique method that I want you to write this down. The first unique method in this is that first you have to understand what we call tribal language. Okay, write that down. Tribal language. What is tribal language? When you think about a tribe, okay, a tribe has a certain language pattern that they use, right? Like they have certain things that they follow. There's certain cultures. No matter what you try to do to convince them to do something else, they are a part of that tribe. They're a part of that community. They speak the same language patterns. They have the same habits. So here's what we do when we go out and we promote our products unconsciously. We go out and talk about how great of a superstar we are, which is nothing wrong with that. Or we talk about, and if you're the insurance agent or the roofing agent, this is something, or the person that owns the business, right? This is something for you as well that can help you. But my background is actually in a subject called copywriting. Okay, if you guys don't know what copyright, I'm not talking about the legal copyright now. Everybody always confuses that. I have a background in copywriting of the written word, the words that go on videos that you see. When you're on a webinar, that's referred to as copywriting. When you see emails, that's referred to as copywriting. Now, you don't have to. It took me 5 years to really get good at the persuasive word. But here's the thing that you have to understand. You have to understand how to speak to your market exactly where they are, okay? Where they are. That way, when people see your product or whatever it is that you are charging a premium for, they know exactly what you offer and they know exactly what you do, okay? So that's the first piece, understanding the tribal language, okay? Now, let me give you guys an example so you can bring this home. Okay, so when about 2 years ago, I weighed about close to 400 pounds. It was about 300 and I think it was like 340, 350, something like that. I was crossing the edge. So I went to the doctor, and of course the doctor said to me, Justin, you need to lose weight. Like I didn't know that, right? it was obvious that I need to cut some pounds, right? And he said, you just need to eat healthy and lose weight. Now, here's the thing. I went to the doctor and I said, screw that. I'm going to go and work with a health coach. So I went to 2 health coaches, 2 women who I wanted to work with, who I respected immensely. When I got on the phone with one of them, now here's the thing, my credit card, right? I wish I had my credit card on the desk. I had my credit card sitting on the desk, waiting to give this money to whoever could speak my language and connect with me in such a deep way that I got it, right? So I get on the phone with one lady, and this is the lady I wanted to work with. I want you guys to get how powerful this is. This is the lady I wanted to work with. She gets on the phone and she says, I told her my problems. She's like, Justin, you just need to eat right and go to the gym. Now, here's the thing. It completely turned me off. She didn't speak directly to what I was based on where I was exactly. And I didn't know exactly, I was like, now I was confused. And a confused mind doesn't buy, does it? Right? A confused mind does not buy. So I didn't sign up with her that day. I thought about it. Now here's what happened. I got on the second with the second expert. I wasn't even really interested in working with her on that deep level. And she says to me, she says, Justin, here's what you really want. Let's cut all of that weight loss stuff. You don't want to lose a bunch of fat. I mean, you think that's what you want, but that's not what you really want. What you really want is, as an entrepreneur, you want to perform better as a CEO. You want to have more energy and vitality than you ever thought possible so your company can completely grow to new heights. And guess what? Weight loss becomes a byproduct. That's what you really want. And you want to get off the weight loss hamster wheel and you can experience weight loss for life. Now, what do you think I did when she said this? I was Holy Ghost shouting, right? She didn't know this on the other side of the phone. And here's what happened. I literally handed her my credit card. She charged me $5,000 that day. I forgot what I paid. I think it was a couple thousand. It was years ago. And I worked with her and I lost close to about 150 pounds. So here's why am I telling you guys this story? Because it's so powerful when you understand how powerful it is to have your message dialed in to who you are serving, the niche that you are serving, the people that you are serving. It makes selling easy. She did not have to sell me at the end of the call. I want you guys to get how powerful this is. I almost want to throw my credit card at her when she told me her pricing became irrelevant. Okay. So I want you guys to get how powerful this is. We avoid this topic of copywriting because we don't think it's important, but it is. We go on our shows, we go on our podcast shows, and we don't think it's important. We think that it's more important to get out there more and have more exposure. And while exposure is important, if you ignore the tribal language of your market, you're gonna realize you're leaving so many sales on the table, it's gonna make your head spin. So own your message, understand your customer in a deep way. The second thing, okay, that I want to go over really quick with you guys is, taking your knowledge and expertise and turning it into a recurring pattern really involves something that happened to me really quick. Okay. So how do you take, you got your package, you pricing your package. The perfect example of this is, the producer of our show, right? Kimberly Flowers. She has a show that she actually has a product that will help you produce your own shows. Okay. And she adds such a high value that it would cost so much money to be able to work with her on a personal basis. So she's packaged that up in a sort of monthly, retainer to help you to get your shows out there in a big way. Taria Vaughn, my homegirl, right? She has a product every single month where she charges, recurring to help you get your book out there in a big way. And I would definitely strongly advise you guys, especially even Velton, sign up for their programs. It helps you to get your product out there in a big way as well. Because Velton is also the sales master. Whatever they have, sign up for, because again, to work with someone like that is just immensely valuable. Now, here's the thing. You could package up some similar service like that and charge every single month for it. You're going to have a huge value to the marketplace. So the last thing, as we kind of wrap this up a little bit, okay, we're going to bring it home a little bit, but I'm going to bring it home in a big way. Most people, say, Justin, how did you get so connected? I remember 7 years ago, when I was 8 years ago, when I was fired from my job, I was introduced to this internet thing. I didn't even know what the heck I wanted to do. I always make the joke, when people say, you want to be an astronaut, you want to be this. I didn't know what the heck I want to be. Okay, so that's why I flopped around from job to job to job. But here's the thing. As I was sitting at my computer on the south side of Chicago in a little room, trying to figure out my life. Okay, we all have been there, right? Trying to figure your life out. I was trying to figure my life out. And so I didn't really have a lot of money to be able to promote my program. I ended up creating a product, but I did not have enough money to promote it. So I couldn't spend money on ads. I didn't even know what the heck a show was. I wish I had a Kimberly Flowers back then. I wish I had a Trevor Oz back then, or a Shay Brown, whatever it is. I didn't know what the heck a show was. And I had very bad social anxiety. So I definitely couldn't get in front of no doggone camera. So I had to figure something out really, really fast. Here's what I realized. The power of relationships is something that we ignore, right? So the people that you meet at seminars, you don't even know who you're sitting next to. How are you going to promote these programs? So here's what I started to do. When I would go to a program, instead of just walking in and walking out the doors, I started to build all these relationships in seminars, and people didn't know who the heck Justin Burns was, right? And here's what happens. I started to build these relationships. I'll be like, hey, can I take you to go buy a beer? Hey, can I treat you to dinner? And one time I struck gold. All you need is one powerful, I want you to write this down. One powerful relationship will change your business. One powerful relationship. And people start promoting me. They start to promote my products. And all I did was just take them to dinner. And naturally they said, man, how can I, when you serve them at a high level, when you ask them what can you do in their business, they're going to promote you, right? And so I ended up taking this guy named Mark Thompson to dinner. I didn't know who he was at the time, but he had this email list of over 200,000 people at the time. So I took him to dinner. We became friends. I asked him, hey, what could I do for you? He's like, you're a copywriter. You can help me write some copy, but tell me about your product. What do you do? So at the time I had a program that was helping people to build funnels. And I said, well, I need that. He said, I told him it was like $1,000 at the time. He says, okay, cool. The next week, he said, I want to promote you to my audience. He puts me on his webinar. He told me to create a presentation. I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. I created this presentation. I found some little template online. I sold my program for $500 because at that time I was scared, okay, of my value. I didn't think I could charge enough. I charged $500. There were 1,000 people that showed up to this webinar. I'm glad he didn't tell me that because I would have freaked out. But it was 1,000 people on this webinar and I didn't realize it. And we ended up doing like $70,000 in sales. And it changed my life and my business. And then at the time, I was a kid from the South Side of Chicago. One relationship could change your life. So that is really my last point. What I want to really emphasize to you and give you some level of encouragement, okay? Give you guys some encouragement. Always believe in what you offer to the world. Believe in it more than anybody on this planet. If nobody believes, if you have one supporter, I got some powerful supporters around me, baby. Like I got some powerful supporters. I know Velton supports me. Taria has supported my business. That one relationship alone has changed my business. We're going to do some amazing work where I'm going to promote the heck out of her this year and do everything I can because of what she has, the value that she has brought to the table. Kimberly Flowers, I mean, just everybody. I mean, Shay Brown, all these people, who, me and Trevor, really good friends. All these people have brought value. Go out there and just provide value. Believe in what you have to offer to the world and go out there and serve people. And you'll just really instantly realize how easy it is to transition to selling your product in the recurring program. Okay. So thank you so much. Back over to you, Velton.
Woo-wee. Wow. I told you, I knew he was going to do it. He actually blew it up. Justin, it's a crime to come into a show with an atomic bomb and then set it off and smile. Wow, that is absolutely incredible. I hope that the audience, you listen to what Justin had to say. I want to see your comments in the field. I want you to talk about this to us and to each other. What was your number one takeaway from what Justin talked about? I got a whole 2 pages of notes over here, but I want to see your number one takeaway. And Justin, here's a question that has always escaped me as I work with people, as I talk to different people. Everybody's trying to understand how to best present their product. Some people have products that are tangible, that you can put your hands on, your fingers on. Some people have products that are more of the thought-provoking, mind-enhancing product. How do you differentiate or present them based on what they are? If it's something I can put my hands on, everybody can touch it. If something that you have to think about or it's transitional mind processing, you have to still sell it. But how do you do that?
Yeah, good question. So, here's what I found, right? You gotta first there's, even if you have a physical product business, there's a way to train your customers in a way where two things for physical product owners. If you have a physical product, find a way that you can package your sort of teaching your customer something along with the physical program, and you could turn that into a recurring kind of revenue model. Okay. So you can do that. You can give people options with that. In terms of, or remember, you can always teach your customers how to use your product better. That's the whole point of this digital economy. Now, if you are of the thought provoking, let's say you're a coach, you're an expert, you're a teacher, whatever it is, just realize that, the first thing I would do if I had to do it all over, Velton, is I would go out there and I would survey my customers. Instead of you, because a lot of times our best guess is usually our wrong guess. And our customers give it all to us, but we are so afraid to go be wrong that we don't do this. So here's how you can put this into more actionable steps. One is just simply make a post on Facebook. Here's how you can do this and say, hey, I'm creating a world-class training. I would love to get your feedback. I plan on, everybody who helps, you can bribe them too. Anybody who helps me to do this, gets early access to the program. I didn't say free. Remember, I didn't say free. I said early access to the program. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then what you could do is have a little survey that just asks some basic questions and get them on the phone and talk to them. That's what we've been doing with our Product Maestro. We've taken a step back to do customer interviews so that, you're trying to find something called product market fit. Product market fit is when you have multiple customers who buy your program. That's when you realize that you can scale to new heights and think even bigger to get your program out there.
It's amazing because everybody is at a different level and a different place in their business. Some people are far down the road and have been doing it for a while. There are other people that are just starting out, and there are other people who have an idea, but they don't know how to put that idea together to really produce a product. One of the things that I always loved when I met you was, you introduced the program of how to develop a course and to sell your product based on teaching people based off the information that you have. How does a person who just has an idea start to formulate that idea and generate that into a product? It's going from the knowledge base to the actual presentation base. How do I take my idea and make it a product?
Yeah, sure. So you kind of expound on the what I kind of talked about. Here's the easy steps of how to do this. Okay. First is remember that you have an audience, even if you don't have an audience. You've been to seminars, unless you're a hermit and you stay in the house 24/7 and you go like a polar bear where you don't talk to people, you don't have an audience, right? But we all have audiences. We've all collected business cards, or we have an email list, or, we have a Facebook group, or we have people on our friends list. Like I said, take that survey method. You post that. You're going to, because people love to support people that ask for help. But you have to do that. Then, just know what your audience needs. Then you take that survey. Here's what's going to happen. Even if you get 10 responses, something magical is going to happen. People are going to start commenting. They're going to say, "Ooh, when is it going to be ready?" Here's what you do first. In a couple of weeks, you take all the answers that you gathered. You take all the answers, and here's what you do. You're going to have all the problems and the solutions that you need to solve in your program. Now, here's the next action steps. You already have a customer base. The people who already express interest, you didn't say you were giving that product away for free. You said that you were going to give them early access. Early access could be next week, Doc. It could be next week. Listen, you did this 7 days ago. Just letting you know, I'm doing a pre-sale on my program. You can reach out to the same people that gave you the survey. I'm doing a pre-sale on my program. Price it at whatever you want to price it at. $497, or like we talked about, $97 a month, $297 a month. And you pre-sell your program. You're not creating it first. Do not create it first. because then you could constantly get feedback on the product and you reiterate based on your customers' feedback. Okay. So then you're pre-selling your program, you're getting paid to sell it first. And then you start to kind of figure out the how-to, and then you could use a program, shameless plug, like Maestro to, host your online course where you can record it, and we have training. We can help you do really all of that as well. But that's how I would sell a program if I was different today. Like I pre-sold one of my programs. One of my programs is $5,000. Okay. And I give them everything, right? Now we have some lower programs that are like $97 a month. We just rolled out a recurring program that was $99 a month to get access to like 10 different courses and also training and Maestro, and it's all kind of combined together. We call it the Profit Lab. Now, here's the thing. The $5,000 program, I pre-sold that. I didn't create that up front. I pre-sold it. And I did this method that I'm talking about where I surveyed now I have a big email list, but I will still do this method. So I said, hey, you guys want to learn about how to create a program at a high level? I had like 10 responses. And I said, oh, we're rolling out an early bird special. Here, schedule a call with me to learn how. 7 to 8 of those people who I surveyed went ahead and took me up on my offer. And we got on the phone. Out of those 7 people, 3 people paid me $5,000. Okay. And I made $15,000 on a program, Belton, that I did not create yet. So guess who was motivated to finish that program?
Let me see. How many guesses do I get, Justin?
And
here's another question, because this is something that a lot of people get hung up on. Most entrepreneurs, as you say, they're counting those dollars, and they want to count a lot of dollars versus a little dollars. And they get hung up on pricing their product. They want to say, well, I want to price this product at $997 because I got to make some money. And what they're missing is that products can be priced in stages, but you got to determine the stages and how you price that product. What suggestions do you have for an entrepreneur who's looking to get their product in the market, but how do they price it in stages so that they don't miss or leave money on the table, because there are people that can't afford $5,000. There are some people out there that can, but you want to make sure that you don't miss those people that might only be able to pay $99 or $97 a month.
Yeah, so I have an interesting way to approach that in essence. There's pros and cons with both strategies. You have to choose. What my mentor said this one day, and it just stuck with me for years. He said, Justin, you got to choose your hard. Choose your hard. Both ways are hard. Choose your hard, right? And so, for essence, you have to really first, number one, you have to assess where you are financially. You have to be honest with yourself and your business. If you don't really have an advertising budget, then how are you going to promote that? If you don't have an audience, how are you going to promote it? So then you have to you reverse engineer. Say you want to make an extra $5,000 a month. Let's just say you don't want to make $100,000 a month. Let's say you want to make $5,000 a month, or you want to make $10,000 a month, whatever it is, right? You have to reverse engineer that. So if you're charging $100 a month, then you need 500 people to generate that amount of income, right? I'm sorry, 50 people to generate 5,000. My math officer, you ain't even got to be a mathematician to do this, right? But you have 50 people who pay you $100 a month, right? And you're making $5,000 a month. Now, if you're trying to generate 10,000, then you need 100 people, right, at $100. So it's all about reverse engineering. Now, people, here's the biggest misconception that I say this. So here's the biggest misconception, right? The biggest misconception is all I need is 100 people, right? All I need is 100 people to pay me a certain amount. That's not all the people that you need, because you need to think about the people that that you need to drive to your website,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of those people, are only a small percentage of those people are going to convert. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the real number that most
Mm-hmm.
people do not address. They say, I only need 100 people. No, you don't need 100 people. You need almost at a 10% conversion. You need 1,000
1,000
people
people,
to
sure.
come to your site to convert. So you have to take into account those things. Now, how I started is, I always believe this, Velta. This is just me. Don't think about the people that cannot afford you. Think about the people that can afford you and appreciate you. If you need to start off like that, that's the fastest way, is charging a premium, helping someone out on a personal basis, get your revenue up, and then use some of that disposable, or not disposable income, using that income to now get an audience, get some of those 1,000 people, maybe buy some ads or pay someone in PR to put you out there more. But you need to account for the real number, the real audience number. I call it the real, when I teach, I call it the real audience number.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Hey, well, it looks like we lost Justin for a minute, but we'll be right back. Don't move. I love everything that he's talking about, and he's dropping some bombs on you and telling you exactly what it takes. Remember what he said. If you want to convert 100 people, you need 1,000 people. It's about the numbers, and that's what he's really gotten into lately. But he's back. Listen, yeah, I see you. I see you. Come on, man. Don't cloak a dagger on me. I saw you. I see you out there. You were dropping some powerful knowledge and information. I just recapped part of it, saying if you need 100 people to convert, you got to have 1,000 people who are you start with, because you're playing somewhat a numbers game, but you're providing that content, that value that people need. So therefore, the interest is there. Now it's up to you to convert.
Yeah, yeah, and I like to be honest with people, because this is not the sexy part of business, right? That we talk about numbers, but you said something key. Business is all about numbers, and a lot of people don't have those numbers. They never hit their revenue goals, because they never say, "Here's what I need. Let me focus on these amount of customers, or focus on strategy." Or, Velton, they try to do too many things at one time. You know,
Mm,
they're writing a book at the same time that they're creating a webinar at the same time. They're producing a live show at the same time. They are, and it's on and on. But you, especially if you're a solopreneur, like I'm not a solopreneur anymore, but if you are a solopreneur, you don't have anybody who's helping you. So your time and energy can only go to so much. So
right.
focus on one strategy that can get you a couple thousand people to your website, building a live show, writing a book, but make sure you know how to promote the doggone thing. Don't just write a book for the sake of writing a book. Have a go-to strategy so that you can hit your goals in the most effective and efficient way possible. I always have a go-to market. I always have hey, if I want to do, say, for example, my goal for my company is to do $100,000 a month. I have to think about what are going to be our go-to strategies and how we're going to do that. So just think about that. That, and entrepreneurs, gurus don't teach this stuff, and it's totally okay. Just make sure, so you hit your revenue goals, you have that.
You made a comment earlier, and I want to make sure that the audience doesn't miss this because it's so powerful. You said one relationship can change your business forever. And I think, as a salesperson, I know the value of relationships. And a lot of times people glaze over that important aspect of business, developing that one relationship. And I'm going to use myself as an example. I was so excited that you were here today because I met you about a year and a half ago and started working with you one of your programs. But that relationship, I'm writing a book, allowed me to start to promote my book through a course that's developed and designed based on the information that you shared with me on a product. It was based on that initial relationship. You talked about how that impacted or affected you. One more time, let's talk a little bit about that, because I think that is huge. And I want to know that if I'm just getting started, if I'm just building my business and I'm looking for help, how do I develop that relationship? How do I find that right person to that go-to person that's going to make the difference for me?
Yeah. So the first thing is what I'll tell you what I did, right? And has basically transformed into, in 2017, 2018, I checked my Google Analytics, and affiliates sent us over 900,000 visitors to our site. Now that was based on one relationship. It started off with one relationship that sprouted to other relationships. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here's how I did it. When I didn't really have a lot of money, the first thing I did was, number one, I identified where my market was, or potential people that serve my market. So
Mm-hmm.
that could be seminars. Seminars nowadays are, they're a dime a dozen, right? There's so many of them. So you have to just identify which seminars there is. Number two, you have to build up the courage to go to these seminars with the intention of building power relationships with people and caring about people. Number two. Now, how do you do that? Number one is you walk into there's sometimes, and here's a smart strategy. One time, I made an intention to meet with 4 of the speakers, and I researched their programs. I did some research before I even got to the event. Some people come up to me and they don't even know who I am, and they don't even care, but they don't even realize I have the power to make them money. They just don't. And so a lot of people are really not prepared like this. But if you went into a little preparation, like, oh, this speaker is going to be here, that speaker is going to be here. So you network with the people in the crowd. What do you do? But don't just ask them what they do. Ask them what they need, and then find another person that you can connect them to, and don't want anything out of the deal. Don't ask for anything. Try to find those connection pieces. So when I started off, I met this person. I add this person. I connect. Oh, this is a video person. What do you need? Oh, I need a copywriter. Oh, I just met Jeff, who's a copywriter at the last event. Hey, listen, I'm going to connect you on Monday, and do what you say you're going to do. They're going to respect that in a big way. That's number one. I mean, that's number 3. I think I went through 3 points already. So that's number 1, add value. The speaker, when you get to the speaker power, they still need things too. Purchase their programs if you have it, and then talk about how you use their program. There's nothing more than a person who has went through my program, right? And tells me that they got some value out of it and that they made some money from one of my programs. I mean, it's absolutely fulfilling. That is how you start to cultivate that relationship. And then the right people are going to say this, folks, when you do this. They're going to say this. They're going to say, wow, man, you've helped. How can I help you? Right? How can I help you? I'll give you this small example. Really, I'll keep it short. There's a guy who, in my city, I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted to connect to. He's one of the largest investors, Black investors in Atlanta. He is invested in Lyft, Dropbox, Uber, you name it. Ring, before it was Ring, they made a big payout when it was sold. So I found out what his pain point was, because he wouldn't really talk to me at first, right? And so I found out his pain point was that he wanted to create a masterclass course. So I used that to my advantage. He's like, I want to teach other investors how to be great investors, because nobody, investing is like this language that people don't understand. Mm-hmm. So I got in the door that way. Here's the thing, Velton. I didn't charge him. I do this for about a couple relationships. I didn't charge him a dime because of the value of that relationship. Mm-hmm. I went into it. Now, we become really good friends. We're really cool. We chat from time to time. And he said this at the last thing, because it always comes full circle. Now, everybody's not going to ask you this question, but majority will. They'll say, you've been helping me. How can I help you? That is when you can go, here's my program. If you could get this out to your audience, it'd be great. We can set up a relationship, and that is where it really, really starts. He just asked me recently, he said, I want to connect you with an investor that has invested in companies like yours.
Wow.
So see, it's always the power of reciprocity. Write that down. The power of reciprocity is how you can grow relationships, you know, and really start to connect with people. And you'll have, all you need is a couple, Velton. You don't even need, like me, I'm knee deep in the game. Okay. I done been in this 7 years. So I have a couple, you know, when I launch a product, and I'm actually doing a product launch next month where I can tap 100 people and say, hey, I need you to promote this product. That's taken 7 years of cultivating relationships with people. But if you're just starting off and you don't have that, focus on the one or two. The one or two is what changed my life back in 2013.
Wow, that is incredible. And I love it. I'm all about networking. And, you know, I love the servant mentality. I think that's extremely important as an entrepreneur that we need to understand and really take to heart. So, Justin, here's the question. You know, I loved having you on the show. It's been a fantastic show. If someone is interested in learning more, or if someone is interested in working with you, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so, you know, definitely follow me on social media. It's facebook.com/Justin Burns. You know, you can message me, reach out to me if you want to talk and have any questions, or you can reach me on Instagram at the Justin Burns, because somebody stole Justin Burns, that handle. So the Justin Burns as well.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, here's the thing, man. I'm excited because you just dropped. See, he drops bombs, and he does it. He sneaks them in here on you. He just doesn't tell you that he's going to do it. But I hope y'all were listening, because he said he's launching a new product in a couple of weeks. I heard you. I was paying attention. All right. Now, when you launch this product, you got to make us a promise that you're going to come back and explain to us how you nuclearized that state over there, because it doesn't exist anymore, and you now own that piece of the world.
Yeah, I promise to do that. I promise.
All right. Well, we're going to hold you to that, my brother. It's always a pleasure spending some time with you. Okay. That's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining in and listening to the show today. And we're going to end up the way we always do. I'm going to count us down from 5, and I want you to tell us your first name, your last name, where you're from, and Black CEO out. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Velton Shaw from Florida. Black CEO out.
Justin Burns, Black CEO out.